Y'all know what it is. Let me know if y'all can see me or hear me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear anything I'm saying. Sitting here trying to still figure out the audio here, but I'll give it a second or two to figure it out. All right, it looks like all that stuff is good. Hey Levita, hey Ludine, how's it going? For all the people out there, y'all know, the people that's been here for a while, y'all know, just put your questions in the comment section. Today I might ruffle some feathers. I would say I apologize in advance, but I don't apologize. Because some things just need to be said. I mean, if you don't like it, give me a kind of argument, and I'm all for talking about the argument. Again, put all your comments and stuff in the chat, and we will hit every question that's been asked on the channel. Usually I give it, a minute or two, let people join in, hit that thumbs up, let me know you're here. But you can start putting the questions in the question box now of stuff that you may have seen in the news, heard in the news, or anything like that you want to talk about. And we will get right to it when the time is right. With all that being said, there's a lot of things going on in the news right now. And when I say a lot of things going on in the news, I'm not talking about the fear mongering that goes on CNN and Fox News. I'm talking about a lot of things that's going on that's affecting your money. And affecting your money is the only thing that matters for this channel. We sit here and, like we talked about last week, knowing the difference between price and value. Especially as Americans, we don't know the difference. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. We talked about the housing market, when people put a price up or list price up for a home and everybody think that's the value of the home. That's not the value. That's just the price that the seller wants. But the value is actually what you're getting. How much are you willing to pay to take care of your family? That is the key of it. We talked about, not last week, but we talked about on previous videos about different nuances of separating price and value. I've talked a couple times about the arbitrage business and how people should start arbitraging, especially all that junk you have in your house that you don't use no more. You should be selling it. For you, it's just junk that you won't use, but it's a value to somebody else that they can put a price tag on. So that's an avenue, especially if you barely keep your head above water to afford to live in this economy, especially with the inflation that we have, to actually put forth some things to do to make extra bucks. It's different things out there. I mean, I've talked about a few of them. You got rugs, you got barbecue grills. Those are the big hit makers that I've seen recently, but there's a lot of nuances out there. If you have a skill that it's relatively easy for you to do and you can replicate, you can sell that to somebody else, because the value of that skill, which to you may seem like nothing, but to them is worth the world. That's what you should do to make extra income. So today we're going to continue on that theme, and we're going to talk about stop being a victim. We are, and like Anton Daniel said, and that's, homie from Detroit, he said, we are perpetually part of the victim Olympics. We always want to be victims instead of actually using our brain, our God-given brain that God gave us to think, to figure stuff out and do stuff that's in the best interest of us, instead of just following the crowd of all the people before us who didn't have a damn clue what was going on in their damn self. So with that being said, let's get into it. I'm let a couple minutes pass and let me say some things. But again, for everybody out there, please, hit that, hit the questions, hit the likes, hit the subscribes, and hit all the other buttons that you could press in YouTube to help somebody out. Again, this information is free, so the only thing I ask you to do something else for free and hit that subscribe button and make sure we keep growing the channel to pass out the information that we have. For the people that's new to the channel, excuse me, for the people that's new to the channel, what we do is we go over the weekly notes and the weekly news articles that only affect your money. That's the only thing we care about, is what affects your money. I don't care about all the fear mongering and all the things that pull on your emotional strings. We care about the things that's going to affect your money and how to put more money in your pocket or keep money in your pocket. So those are the things that we're going to hit at. For the people that's out there, and I'm going over the first article right now. For the people that's in the housing market that's looking to buy houses and things like that, uh, JP Morgan, they came out with an article on Monday and they said that they believe that the housing prices in America across the board will drop 8%. Now, let me give some caveats to that. They just painted a broad stroke across the United States. But I'm going to go and say that you will see a decline in prices in the Bible Belt. That means the southern region. That's the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Mississippis, the Florida, especially Florida. You're going to see in the second half of this year, you're going to see a tremendous drop in prices on that side. But now, if you're talking about the Midwest, you're talking about the Ohio's, the Minnesotas, the Illinois, and then over there in the New England area, New York, New Jersey, Boston, Massachusetts, all those places, the prices are still going to go higher. So that's just something you have to deal with. But if you're trying to look and pivot to another locale and you're talking about where the prices are dropping at and the best places to buy at, I would say the Southern Belt. I'm still not a fan of people, unless you're owner occupying the property and buying in Florida. If you just plan on, oh, I want to invest in Florida, that's not the place you want to be. And the reason why is because insurance companies are still leaving Florida. The cost of insurance is still high. If this is your second property and this is not your main residence, you don't get the homestead exemption, so you're paying the obscene property taxes. That's why I'm not a fan of buying a second home in Florida. I mean, look at the financial crisis. The places that got hit worse was Florida, and then followed by Arizona, then Nevada. Well, probably Nevada was more than Arizona, but those are the places where people have second and third homes. But if you looking to buy and live in a place like Florida, you can pull off some tremendous deals, and I believe, and I've talked about it many times on this channel, even though nobody gives me credit for it. I've said this years ago, if you're buying rental properties in Florida, you should stop, and I've been saying that since COVID, the pandemic hit. And then look at we are here now, and those same people that was buying during COVID because they just thought money was just going to rain out the sky forever, they're in a bad place. If you look at the listings for Florida and you look at the motivated sellers, it's over 8,000 motivated sellers because they bought 100% incorrectly. When COVID hit and I said I'm pivoting out of Florida, I still have properties in Florida, but of course I got them pre-pandemic at a stingy price. I pivoted to other states because I said that because of the insurance rate increases, because of the property tax increases, that will be a problem moving forward. For Texas, I love the state of Texas. The food is the best I've ever had. But I've told people that the property taxes are the thing that's going to kill you in Texas. Homestead exemption or not, you're screwed when you go to Texas because the property taxes and insurance, because even though Florida and California, because of the wildfires, have the biggest insurance impact, they're going to spread that across the nation. And Texas is one of the places that's getting spread across because a small slither of Texas do have a lot of insurance impacts as far as the Galveston area, as far as the hurricanes. But then we had the floods over there on the northwest side of San Antonio. We had those floods that go on. That was a big insurance impact also. So now Texas is in the same place, but they don't have the security or the homestead exemption as strong as Florida. So people that's moving to Texas, I love it. I love the places. You get a bigger house, but the property taxes, you feel like you paying a mortgage. Even if you pay off the house, you feel like you're paying another mortgage just to pay the property taxes just in Texas, let alone the insurance that's on top of that. So you get compounded 5 or 6 times with all the extra pricing that's going on. But JP Morgan did say that they expect the house prices to decrease 8% in the second half of 2025 going into 2026. I believe it will be more aggressive decreases in prices in the southern part of the United States, and then there'll be some increases in the northern part, especially the eastern part of the United States. So that right there will cause, that's how with the blended rate together, it'll be about 8% according to JP Morgan. But I believe Florida has a longer way to go. Still today, I'm still buying properties, but Florida is not a place that I'm buying properties, even though I would prefer to buy them in Florida. But the prices, the numbers just don't work, especially where the seller bought the property at, and then they're not trying to take a loss, and it needs haircuts of another 15-20%. And I'm not saying this just as a hyperbole, spitting a number out of my mouth. People, I am 100% in the Florida market. I know exactly what's going on in the Florida market. I study the Florida market. The numbers are just out of sorts, especially as an investor. And then, as a homeowner, you get a little reprieve. But besides that, the numbers are just out of whack, especially the insurance costs. I mean, even the properties that I still have here in Florida, and the number is around 15 or 16 properties for the people that's in the back room trying to worry about, oh, is he just making it up? But it's about 15 or 16 properties in Florida. I think it's 15 in Florida that the insurance that I have is continually go up astronomically. If and I'm just gonna be honest, if I'm in an area where it's not prevalent to having hurricane damage, which is very few in Florida, I have had conversations about just self-insuring it myself because the insurance prices are just astronomically too high to even make the numbers make sense. And then now, of course, since I bought it pre-COVID, that I could still sell it for a profit, but I still like the property where it's at and what I think it'll bring forward in the future. So that's why I haven't offloaded it yet. For the people that's wondering that. Other things that's in the news, and this is just to give you a understanding or nuance of what's going on in the market. Berkshire Hathaway, for the people that follow the market a little bit, and I'm talking about just investing in the S&P 500 and things like that. Berkshire Hathaway did not buy back stock this quarter. That's damn near a rarity right now in the world of investing, where Berkshire Hathaway don't buy back their stock. And understand, when companies buy back their stock, they believe their stock is undervalued. And Berkshire Hathaway is a conglomerate that they have their hands in a little bit of everything across the economic scale in the United States. So with them not buying back their stock, they believe that their stock, compared to what they're bringing in as far as EBITDA and as far as revenue and profit, that their stock is expensive. So that's why they're not buying it back. So that could be the canary in the coal mine heads up that the market itself is a bit overpriced. So just want to throw that out there. And for you people that just, invested in the SPY and the index and things like that, that's not a cry to say sell. What that is a cry to say, be prepared for it to go down some, which is fine. We don't care about it going down. And if you could be more aggressive when it goes down, be more aggressive and get more money in the market and get shares at a cheaper price, especially if you just invest in an index or the ETF of an index like SPY, SPX, QQQs, and some of those other ones that's out there. It's a couple out there. Or the FXAIX if you in the mutual fund space, same difference. But just be prepared to actually put more money in if that happens. But I believe that was a canary in the coal mine, because remember, back in February, March time frame, when Warren Buffett went a lot in the cash, and Warren Buffett is still there. He don't step down as CEO until the end of the year. That was a big turning point in the market. And then as we see it right now, and I'm looking at the charts right here to my right, your left, SPY right now is sitting there very close to all-time highs. SPY, the all-time high is 639.85. We are at 637.18. I would not be surprised, and we're not in the overbought as RSI for the people that know what that is. But I wouldn't be surprised if we double tap that high of 639.85, and then we get a little downward pressure. Wouldn't be surprised at all. So just having that out there, but that's not a scare to say, hey, everybody run and get out the market, because we know if the market turns down, especially with who we have in the administration, that they will over exasperate the fear. And I'm trying to tell you now, don't be fearful. Be greedy. Keep buying. Don't stop. Actually, if you can find some more, shake your kids' piggy bank and all that other stuff and get money in the market so you can benefit when this thing turns around. Another thing out there, I'm just bringing this up because it was in the news. Boeing, the aircraft maker, the duopoly. Uh, Boeing, the aircraft maker, they have a strike going on right now with their defense workers, the ones that create the aircrafts and what have you. They got 3,200 people on strike. 3,200 people on strike. They turned down a 20% pay increase and a 5K bonus. They turned that offer down. I guess they want more money. And the thing is, y'all know, for people that's been on this channel or follow me for a while, I am an anti-union guy. And the only reason why I'm an anti-union guy because I believe that it causes more help than hurt for the people that's in the Northwest and the Northeast. I mean the Midwest and the Northeast section of the United States. I'm not here trying to tell you to quit the union. I'm just saying that I believe it does more help than hurt. If you got any comments, questions, concerns about that, hit me up hit the chat, and I will gladly address that. But Boeing is on strike right now. For your Tesla shareholders out there, and trust me, I'm gonna get to the subject matter in a second, but these are key topics right here for the investors and stock traders out there that, or stock investors out there that need to know the information. For your Tesla shareholders out there, just giving you a heads up, sales in the UK and in Europe for Tesla has dropped over 50% year over year. Sales have dropped. They have pivoted more to the Chinese EVs, which Boyd, BYD, that's the stock ticker symbol. I believe it's on the over-the-counter market. They have a bigger market share in the EU, and their products are moving way faster in the European Union than Tesla is. NIO is another one, and then Lilly or Leah is another EV company that's out there that's really doing big numbers in the EU. And those are all Chinese companies. If you're wondering why those companies are not in the United States, because there is a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs coming to the United States. So it alleviates the competition for the GMs, the Fords, and the Teslas or what have you, and the Stellantis, formerly known as Chrysler. So that's what's going on out there. Got two more as far as the news, and then we can get into the subject matter altogether. Trade gap. For all those people that get upset, bitch, moan, complain, cry. And again, I always tell you, I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump does. Hey, New, how's it going? But I don't agree with everything Donald Trump does, but I agree with a lot of policies that he have. All the other emotional stuff that pull on everybody heartstrings, I don't care about that. But what I do care about is his policies. Now, you may not like how he does it, but I don't care how it's done. I just hope the end result happens. And with that end result that's happening, I just want to point out these two things. The trade gap between China and the United States, this came out in the news on Wednesday, that it is the lowest in 21 years. That means it's the lowest gap, meaning we are buying closer to historical norms or historical lows of what China is buying from us. 21-year low trade deficit with China. 21 years. So you can be mad at how it's done. And I always say, nobody care about the labor pain. They just want to see the baby. You can be upset about how it's done, but understand the fact that it is being done. And the trade deficit also around the world between the United States and everybody else is at a 2-year low. And that's another thing that benefits the United States. With the trade deficit being lower, that means that it's less jobs and it's less imports coming in that's going out from companies in the United States that's shipping out to other countries. If companies in the United States are shipping out to other countries, that means they're hiring more employees in the United States to produce, to ship out to other countries. Now, is AI and automation still going to affect these companies? Yes. But right now, because it's quid pro quo and we buying and selling amongst each other at an equilibrium, that it's the companies are not outsourcing their jobs and the jobs are leaving the United States. So just wanted to point out those things. So even if you hate Trump, just know that's fine. And again, all the shenanigans, everything outside that don't affect your money. Do I care about it? Hell yeah, I care about it. But I care about it more that everybody else stop ignoring it. I mean, they need to ignore it because it don't affect your money. The Epstein files, all that other crap that everybody get emotional charged by, it don't matter because it don't affect your money. If Trump's not here and you're still broke, or if Trump's here and you still broke, the key element is you're still broke. Whoever's the president shouldn't affect how much money you do or do not have. I have never had a president come to my house and say, hey, you voted for me, so here's some money. Hey, you didn't vote for me, so let me take away your money. I've never had it. Because I'm only focused on what's best for me and my family. And I see there's no comments in the comment section. I see a couple of hellos, or questions in the comment section. But again, please feel free about anything in the financial world. I follow this stuff all the time. But the thing is the reason why we sit here, and now we get into the subject matter, the reason why we sit here and we bitch, moan, complain about everything else that don't deal with our money is because we, as a society, we rather be victims than take charge of our life. Like Anton Daniel said, a guy from Detroit, he said, we want to be part of the Victim Olympics. We don't want to make a full-fledged conversation, or we don't want to have to think outside the box, or we don't want to pivot outside of what our ancestors did before us to get stuff done. Now, I'm not doing this to throw shade on anybody, or I'm not doing this to hype myself up. But this is something that's amazing to me, and I just had a conversation this week about it. I personally, or my family personally, and I'm talking about my family in this house, personally owns more properties than my entire family combined. So that means I done did the best of deals, I done did the worst of deals, I know all the nuances, headaches, and everything that goes in between. So my question is, since family members know that this is my area that I do what I do, the question is, how many has reached out to ask me when they buy in a house, what's the best avenue for them? The answer is little to none. Little to none. My son reached out. No, let's not get it twisted. My son reached out, but my son know I'm crazy. If he didn't reach out, I'd probably try to choke him out or something like that. But my son reached out. Besides that, everybody just proceed to do the same normal thing everybody do. Oh, I'm just going to hire a real estate agent. Oh, the real estate agent know more than me. I do a bad deal, and then after I get the deal, then we blame it on the real estate agent. That's what we do. We choose to not know, even though you have resources, we choose to go through the cycle that everybody before us has normally done, and then, okay, when it goes bad, now I have somebody to blame. Instead of, but you want to admit to people, oh, I knew somebody who knew more than that, but I chose not to listen to them because I didn't want to think for myself. I'd rather just go through everything. And that is a thing out there that's, I always say, stop being the victim. We choose to be the victim because we don't want to think outside the box. We don't want to not do what our ancestors did. But the thing is, only thing you got to do is see the end result. Our ancestors, or our forefathers, the people before us, they ended up with nothing. So you already know the end result, even though you want to play blind to it. Stop being a victim. That's like me when, of course, my family, y'all see the color of my skin. My family, most of them are Democrats. Nothing wrong with it. They're Democrats, that's fine. But the question I always ask myself, even growing up, before I can vote and stuff like that, was ever since the Civil Rights Movement, we've been talking about, hey, we shall overcome, we shall overcome. And now we didn't have the quote-unquote first black president, Clinton. We didn't have the Obamas. We didn't have the Bidens. And we still talking about today what we was talking about in 1960. So how many more Democrats do we got to elect before something happens in our favor? And then, so, of course, when I pivoted, and I didn't pivot because of that reason, I pivoted only for one reason. I pivoted because I have to choose what's best for my family. I can't, when I go to the voters box, I can't sit here and say, hey, yeah, my family's doing well, but the rest of my extended family is not, so I'm just going to vote so my extended family can do well. Damn me. I have to vote for what's best for me. And the thing that I know, because I study finance, is if we, and this is just the Democratic or liberal model, if we try to keep raising taxes on the rich, the only people that's going to pay for it is the middle class poor. That's the only people that's going to pay for it. And the thing is I don't know why people don't study history that much, but in 1940, the tax rate was 94% on the upper income. 94% was the tax rate. And then what happened in those years? You still got the Carnegies, you still got the Vandenbergs, you still got the JP Morgans, you still got all these people that still got richer. So from the 1940s still till now, nobody ain't realized that the tax code that we're talking about is way different from the tax code that the wealthy is using. But we're going to keep saying, oh, raise the taxes on the rich. You think the rich are going to sit there and say, okay, we're going to pay all these taxes and then everybody else is going to eat off of us and we're not going to have nothing. No, the rich and the wealthy owns all the assets that the middle class and poor have to pay for. So they're just going to keep raising the price. That's why I believe this pseudo, let's raise the taxes on the rich. You can raise it all you want to. It's still going to get passed down to the middle class and poor. Because we have to buy the goods that they produce. And here's another one where everybody's yelling, tax the rich. The reason why, and for the people that don't know, the only way that rich people get rich or the wealthy get wealthy is because the middle class and poor. The rich people ain't buying from each other to get rich. The rich, they build stuff that the middle class and the poor will overconsume so they can become wealthy. So the middle class and poor is creating all these wealthy people, but then you're upset at the people that you created. Make that make sense somewhere. Make that make sense somewhere. And I did multiple videos on how the tax code work and what everybody else is trying to do. I mean, what everybody else wants is not the true reality of it. But the truth of the matter is we have to start thinking for ourselves. Stop just following the company line. Do what's best for you. That's it. I don't give a damn if mom and them, cousin them, sister and them, grandpa and them said, oh, we vote for this because of this. Most of these motherfuckers ain't even past the 8th grade. Their education level is little to nothing. Think and learn for yourself. Study history. So that's the reason why I can sit here and say, y'all keep yelling tax the rich, that nothing will happen. Because I study history and seen that they raised the tax rate to 99% and the rich still got richer. The poor still got poorer. I'm not saying it just off some company line that CNN or Fox News said. I actually studied this. And then I'm not about to, I got something for you MAGA people too. All you damn dummies out there that keep yelling, oh, we need to raise the Fed needs to lower the interest rate because Donald Trump said so. I don't give a damn what Donald Trump said. Never in the history of America or anywhere else, well, it happened, but all those companies went into hyperinflation. We could talk about the Venezuelans, the Mexicos, and things like that. Has the economy been doing good and the federal government lowered the interest rate? Now you can, and then the only thing that's going to create, when we already in a high inflationary environment, a high demand environment, economy is booming, we lower the interest rate, only thing we get is hyperinflation. Again, y'all didn't study COVID? Economy's doing good. Fed left the interest rates too low, too long. So much money was in the economy. Hyperinflation take place, and now we all crying at grocery stores. But y'all want to sit here and say, oh, because Donald Trump said we need to lower the interest rate. that the interest rate should be lower. Hell no. In good economies, the Fed should be increasing or keeping the interest rate where it's at. That's why I said at the beginning of the year, the Fed should not lower the interest rate all year because we need to get used to it. I don't give a damn if Donald Trump, Jesus Christ can come down and say they need to lower the interest rate. I'm still going to not agree with it. And this is the funny part. Again, people don't study history. And this is the MAGA argument. Oh, if he lower interest rates, then our treasury and our debt will be lower, and that will be good for the economy. They don't study history. And the reason why, they don't even have to go back years. Only thing they have to do is study the last time the Fed cut the rates in December of 2024. They cut the interest rate on the short term of the curve, and all of the other interest rates for all the other debt increased. Nobody don't talk about that. I bet you won't hear that on Fox News. But I actually studied this stuff. The Federal Reserve cut the interest rates in December, and the 7-month, the 2-year, the 7-year, the 10-year, the 30-year all went up. So what does that mean? Mortgage rates are higher, car loan rates are higher, even though the Fed cut the rates. That's what happened in the good economy. The only way that the interest rates can come down on those if people are scared that the economy is going into a recession. So they run to a safe haven, i.e. the bonds or U.S. debt, and that, because the price of the bonds will go up, the interest rate will go down. That's how the interest rate come down for all of these other avenues and different adventures that people are looking for. So for all the MAGA people that's out there that don't know what the hell they're talking about, because Donald Trump said it, I 100% disagree, and I will keep disagreeing. And the crazy thing is, most people that have money disagree with interest rates being cut because they're saying the exact same thing I'm saying. That if you cut the interest rates when the economy is good, the rich are going to get richer, the poor is going to get poorer, the middle class is going to shrink. So that just means more people in the middle class are going to go to poor. The middle class is going to shrink, and that's it. So if you don't understand Economics 101, please stop fucking calling me talking about stuff you don't know about. That's Economics 101. Robert Maynard Keynes. This is elementary school stuff, and they don't know just because Donald Trump said it. Of course Donald Trump wants the interest rate to be lower, so it can look like his economy in his time, his 4 years he has in the economy, will keep rising. But then we, as a population, the middle class and poor, they're the one that's going to suffer after the 4 years. He's going to be gone. They're going to talk about how good his economy is, but everybody else is going to be sitting here suffering. Not everybody else. The middle class and poor is going to be sitting here suffering. So all the MAGA people that's hanging out in the trailer park, shut the hell up, because you don't know what you're talking about either. And I'm sorry for taking shots at people, but those are the conversations that I had this week. All right. But yeah, so we got to stop being victims. We got to stop playing the victim. We got to stop acting like, oh, the world's going to end, or it's everybody else's fault. Many times on this channel, I talked about how, I was in $250,000 in debt, and I didn't see a way out. I've talked about it many a times. But the thing is, what separates me and few other people from everybody else, I remember, and I still talk to people today that was affected by the financial crisis. I was stuck in it. And then when I talk to people who bought homes during the financial crisis and they maybe lost their home or whatever, everybody does the same thing. Oh yeah, the bank shouldn't have let us borrow that money. Why not? You came with the paperwork that said you can afford it. I have yet, besides myself, met somebody who said, yeah, I fucked up. It was me who made a bad decision. And that's exactly how I looked at it. I mean, this is how crazy I looked at it. I still remember the bank who gave me the loan. It was Bank of America. Bank of America gave me the loan, and only thing I could show them proof of was $283 a month in income. They still gave me the loan. But I still, to this day, and every day after that, I never said, oh man, they shouldn't have gave me that loan. What was they thinking? I have to know what's best for myself. It's not up to a bank that's trying to siphon funds from me to be like, oh, well, yeah, buddy, I'm just going to give you some counseling that you can't afford this. It's up to me as an individual to think for myself. So even though I was in that situation, I didn't sit there and say, oh, well, it's the bank's fault. It's the bank's fault. I said, it's my fault. And I told myself, I'm going to learn and I'm going to teach myself everything that I didn't know when I stupidly bought this house in the first hand. And then I chose to learn it on my own. Not sit here and blame. I mean, I sit here and talk to people day in and day out. When everything's going good, oh yeah, I'm the man. You know, I run this. You know, that's our motto. But as soon as something go bad, then it's everybody else's fault. Why it went bad. Oh no, it's baby mama and them, it's cousin and them. They all messed it up. These baby mama cousin them was around when everything was going right when you was taking credit for everything. So take credit for everything when it goes wrong. Like me, I always take credit no matter what. Like property managers, when they mess up, I don't sit there and be like, yeah, man, the property manager screwed me. No, I screwed myself because I wasn't more diligent on what I need to do to make sure that they did it right. And I took some huge losses from property managers. I took huge losses in different aspects of my life. But I didn't blame nobody but myself because I have to educate myself better on those things. Now, of course, people say, well, that's the service that they bring in and they should be honorable. I know. I shouldn't depend on other people to know more than me about the subject. If I'm depending on people to know more than me, that means I'm dependent on them to live. And I'm not dependent on nobody. I'm not dependent on the president. I'm not dependent on the congressman. I'm not dependent on the police officer. I'm not dependent on nobody. Everything that I do and I talk about is what I actually do in real life. When I say, hey, stop spending money, that's what I do. Do I go out and enjoy the finer things in life? I remember I was talking to two gentlemen that I respect dearly, and they said, hey, man, how do you enjoy it? And I always find that a funny question. First off, I enjoy watching money grow. I love watching money make more money. The second thing is everything that people still trying to do in their life, I've already done it. I got t-shirts, I done turned it inside out. I done did it. Travel, I done done it. So me, where I'm at in the space that I'm at, I love just taking money and watching it grow. I love being able to have crazy stuff come at me. Like this month, I didn't have so many damn maintenance bills. The law shouldn't allow it. But I'm not sitting here, talking to my family, hey, we got to get on ramen noodles because we ain't got no money. Or I'm not calling the property manager saying, oh, I know those maintenance items have to be done, but I ain't got no money to afford it. I could just say, okay, go ahead and get it done. One thing for sure, two things for certain in life. Bad stuff is going to happen. If you don't prepare for bad stuff, it's going to happen. Shame on you. So, and I'm gonna take it a step deeper. If you got family members that in the streets and you ain't got life insurance policies on them, shame on you. Please stop sending me GoFundMe pages because I'm not paying for that shit. You know they in the street. You know the end game of this. It's either prisoner or coffin. All the family members know what they're doing. When they making money, oh, it's all good. Then they died, and now you want to go on GoFundMe. Bad stuff is going to happen. So let's get that together also. But that is the thing. I want to be always prepared because Lord knows if I get into a bad spot and then I need 15, 20, 30,000, I ain't got nobody to call. I ain't got nobody to call and be like, hey man, let me hold that hot 20K right quick. And I don't know why people live their life thinking that, oh, I can do what I want and not prepare for a bad time. And, oh, I just call somebody to do it. That's the craziest thing ever. For the life of me, and I've seen this all growing up, and this is probably why people wonder why I don't go on trips with them. I've seen family members, oh, yeah, we're going to have a cruise in 5 years. You got to get your payments in. And then people can't afford the payments. And then they stop paying their light bills, electricity, rent, just so they can go on a cruise for 5, 6, 8, 12 days. And then they go on this cruise, spend the last dollars they get, and then they come back, and then they talk about, oh, I can't afford my light. My light's about to get cut off. You knew the lights was going to get cut off before you even went on the damn trip. So we don't even prepare for bad stuff gonna happen. In all our life, bad stuff happens. So that's what I do. I love seeing money grow, but I also want to make sure I'm prepared when bad stuff is gonna happen, because bad stuff is gonna happen, especially if you own rental properties, especially if you invest in some of these companies and it don't turn out the way you're gonna turn out. I know that. But I also know it ain't no bailout plan for me. No president, congressman, family member ain't sending me no check to bail me out if it gets too catastrophic. So I got to prepare for that also. And why we as human beings ain't preparing for that on a personal level is beyond me. That's something that we got to do. But I'm going to get off my pedestal today, but I just wanted to point out those things that's going on, and I'm going to hit these comments. But Ludine, I think Stephanie said, I determined that it may be the emotional side of them that choose not to ask you. And I think that Stephanie is talking about when I mentioned that I bought so many houses. And again, emotion, you know how I feel about emotion. And I'm not talking to Stephanie, I'm talking about everybody. I talk about emotion all the time. Emotion is the thing that crushes dreams. If you're making decisions off of emotion, you're failed already. You failed already. That's why I always say, take emotion out of it and make decisions. Again, people tell me a time where you made an emotional decision and it was the right choice. That's why I always say, take emotions out of it. I be damned. Now, Stephanie, I got one. And I'm not picking on Stephanie. She just asked a question. But I know Stephanie also. So, I be damned if I'm about to go plant a garden and then I don't call Stephanie. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I know Stephanie, she always in those damn weeds and trees and she know all that stuff. I'd be fucking stupid. So I'm just going to choose to say, oh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just going to jump out there and just do something retarded and spend a lot of money and no, I'm not going to get no yield from the labor and the money that I put in. I would be insane to do that. But it ain't no emotion about it. I don't care what side of the political aisle Stephanie's on. I don't care if she can have swastikas on her forehead. But if she take a phone call from me and she know how to fucking plant fucking flowers and fruits and vegetables and all that, and I don't know how, I will be the stupid one for not reaching out to a resource. Trust me, I don't know everything about everything. But one thing I do know, I know somebody that knows something about it. And I don't hesitate, and I call and I ask them 50 million questions, and I don't feel sorry not one bit fast. Because I'd rather put myself in the best position instead of putting myself in the guest position. And the guest position means, I guess is right. I just got to wait for the downfall of what happened. I want to put myself in the best position. We have to start doing what's best for us. Damn the crowd. The crowd will figure it out on their damn own. You have to start figuring out what is best for you at your time of need. Not, well, everybody else just voting this way or everybody else doing that, so I'm just going to go and do that. Y'all know me. I'm go against the crowd all day. What they doing and what they want ain't the same things I want. So why the hell would I go that way? Jay, I see that. You said they changed with the tax code. It's the mindset. Can you elaborate on that? I think you're saying, well, yeah, can you elaborate on that? Because I don't want to go into what I think you mean. I read yesterday about the possibility of IPOs for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. What is your opinion on that? I thought being FNMA, being an OTC market is the public market. Am I wrong in assuming that? That's a great question, boy. I'm going to try to break this down a little bit. And if I'm wrong, please come back with a question. The IPOs for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I did hear about that, taking out of conservatorship and bringing it back to the public market. I don't know, and I do not believe that those OTC stocks, I think is going to be the same thing with GM. If you remember GM back 09, 010, GM was in the OTC market and people was buying that, but when the new GM came out, they issued new shares, and those shares in the OTC market was eliminated. I believe it will be the same framework with that. That it will be a new IPO. Those over-the-counter stocks will be eliminated and they will not count. But we have seen precedents with that, and GM was one on that. OTC is a public market, but it uses less of the accounting that the Nasdaq and the NYC has. It uses